Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Coast News. And as always, got some amazing news from different theme parks, rides, attractions and events all over the world. So let's get straight into the news today. Our top story for tonight, Planet Coaster 2 has officially released on PC and console. And the day has finally come for the long anticipated sequel to one of the most successful theme park tycoon games in recent history. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically, Planet Coaster 2 is a simulator theme park sandboxed / tycoon game created by the British video game company Frontier Development. It's a sequel to the highly successful original game Planet Coaster, which came out way back in 2016 on PC, and then it got a console adaptation in 2020. And there's been rumours for like the past sort of few years about Planet Coaster 2, because after Planet Coaster 1, Frontier developed like another game in like the sort of the Planet series, whatever it's called Planet Zoo, which is very similar to Planet Coaster, but instead of building theme park attractions, you build like zoos and animal enclosures and things like that. So there was a lot of speculation about when the sequel to the original Planet game, Planet Coaster, was going to come out. And at long last, earlier this year, a few months ago, Frontier officially confirmed that Planet Coaster 2 was going to come out, and they said it was going to come out in autumn this year, or fall, as it said. And yeah, they promised so much with like the new game. Things that we did know, starters, on console it was going to be new generation console only, so it was going to be PS5 exclusive, as well as, well, not PS5, it's going to be only on PS5 as well as Xbox Series X and S. But as for the in-game stuff, the main thing they were highlighting was that the fact that you could build water park attractions in there, which honestly is such an amazing new feature. It very much reminds me of like the Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 like soaked DLC expansion pack from like the early 2000s. But as well as the new water park attractions, they also added new different types of rides, including new roller coaster types such as B&M surf coasters, tilt coasters, intimate multi-dimensional coaster, lots of other new attractions, as well as new like tools and features as well. Like they've added a new smoothing system to like the coaster building tool. They've added a scaling tool to like the theming. You can add theming now onto rides and attractions like themselves, which is absolutely incredible. They've added a new pathing. They've just improved pretty much every aspect of the original game and added some brand new stuff as well. So yeah, overall, Planet Coaster 2 sounds absolutely incredible, and I cannot wait to hopefully play the game one day. In other news today, the first track pieces for Siren's Curse have arrived at Cedar Point. And yeah, I'm honestly really looking forward to see how this ride actually is received by visitors of the park. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, Siren's Curse is a brand new Vekoma manufacturing tilt coaster that is located at Cedar Point, which is in Sandusky, Ohio, in the United States. It's opening as a brand new attraction for 2025. It is going to be one of 3 new generation Vekoma tilt coasters opening within the next year or so, with the other 2 being Circuit Breaker at Circuit of the Americas in Texas and Iron Rattler at Six Flags Qiddiya City in Saudi Arabia. But this one, when this one opens, is going to take the record of North America's tallest and fastest tilt coaster. So whether it opens before or after Circuit Breaker, which has been in the works longer than Siren's Curse, it'll still beat it in those areas, like with the height and speed. But yeah, this ride looks crazy. I know a lot of people were expecting Cedar Point's next major coaster after Steel Vengeance to be like an RMC T-Rex, or just like something along like another RMC coaster basically. But I think they have subverted people's expectations, but maybe in a good way. I'm not saying an RMC is a bad idea, but this might actually be probably just as good of an alternative. Because yeah, tilt coasters are extremely rare, the first ever tilt coaster ever built was Gravity Max at Lipo Land in Taiwan, and that was way back in the early 2000s. And since then, literally the only sort of tilt coasters that have been built in are in like places like China and East Asia by Jinma Rides. And those are basically just like knockoffs of Vacoma's tilt coaster, but just like a newer concept. So they're like updated with like new track types, new technologies, and new train types, things like that. Still, apart from a few in like China from Jinma Rides, there's only like really one from Vacoma. But now Vacoma have started to bring this concept back into the industry by building 3 across the globe. And which one will open first, I'm not sure. It'll probably be Circuit Breaker, because that one's already gone vertical. But however, seeing as though the track for Siren's Curse has already arrived, it shouldn't be long now until those few pieces start to go up, and I cannot wait to see how the ride's construction progresses over the close season. Also in the news today, and this is some rather sad news for a lot of people, Flambards in Cornwall have announced that they will permanently close after 48 years of operation. I know this is absolutely devastating for a lot of people who have visited the park. I've never been there, but for a lot of people who have visited Flambards and love the park itself, it must be absolutely devastating. Also, the people that work there, who probably now have to find another job. I wish good luck to those people. But if you know what I'm talking about, basically, Flambards Village Amusement Park, which is its full name, is an amusement park located in Cornwall in the UK. It's been operating since 1978, or I probably got the years wrong, probably 1976, sorry. And yeah, they've been operating for 48 years, like I said at the start. And yeah, it's one of the smaller amusement parks in the UK, but like they've also got they've had some pretty good attractions over the years. One of the main sort of attractions they've had is the Hornet roller coaster, which opened in the 90s. That was probably like their big sort of flagship attraction. But over this year hasn't really been that good for them. Like a few months ago, they announced that they will be retiring all of their thrill rides, so including the Hornet, as well as other rides as well, like Skyforce, which is like sort of it's very similar to something like Vortex at Thorpe Park, but slightly different. Yeah, they basically announced they would be retiring all their thrill rides. I assume it was due to like monetary, like financial reasons. Because when they closed and they put the announcement out, the reason they're closing is because of rising costs and declining visitor numbers. So that will have been a factor into why they closed all of their major thrill attractions. So they did that earlier this year and mainly just made it like a kid-friendly theme amusement park, a bit like how Lightwater Valley are doing at the moment. But where Lightwater Valley have been doing this sort of transition from sort of thrill park to kid-friendly amusement park over these past few years and are still operating somehow, I think, Flambards have done it pretty much straight away, and a few months later they're now closing permanently. I know it must be absolutely devastating as well, and it's not even like they wanted to close or anything. Purely just because of rising costs and everything like that, which is such a shame. Because if they're closing, I know they're only like a small amusement park, but who's to say what happened to other smaller parks like, I don't know, like Water Valley. I know it's absolutely devastating, but yeah, Flambards, whoever visited there, I know it will definitely be missed. And finally in the news today, Thorpe Park have revealed plans to build a brand new permanent lakeside hotel within the next few years. And I'm so glad they're actually bringing this whole idea, these plans, well, glad they're bringing this whole idea back into circulation and planning to build a permanent accommodation again. But if you're not sure what I'm talking about, basically, Thorpe Park is an amusement park located in Surrey in the UK. It is one of the major theme parks in the UK, owned and operated by Merlin Entertainments. Yeah, and this year they're home to some of the most iconic coasters in the country, such as the brand new Hyperia, which is an absolutely phenomenal roller coaster. My new favourite, as well as a lot of people's UK favourite, as well as things like the Swarm, Stealth, Soar the Ride, Colossus. a lot of like larger like thrill attractions and roller coasters. And this year that they've had has actually been really good. Like from what I've heard, like in terms of whereas like its sister park Alton Towers has struggled with things like ride availability and things like that, they've not struggled with that. Like when we visited on a couple of weeks back, ride availability at Thorpe Park was actually pretty decent. Apart from when we were queuing up for Hyperia, it was down for about 10 minutes before reopening again, and Quantum broke down. But other than that, we're fine. But yeah, they've had a really good year, and Hyperia has definitely been the best part of it. And yeah, they're definitely wanting to invest more into their future to make it stand out on a European stage, which is what they stated when Hyperia was first revealed under the codename Project Exodus. And it seems we've got like a glimpse into that sort of future. Like, also, prior to these hotel plans, they actually revealed plans to build a brand new stage and seating areas on where the former Amity Beach used to be, which, if plans go ahead, that could be ready for maybe mid next year. So could have some like new entertainment on there. And also, not long after, they revealed plans to build a brand new permanent hotel on the lakeside. Because if you don't know about Thorpe Park's history, this is actually quite interesting. A few years ago, Thorpe Park had actually plans to build a permanent hotel, not actually on the island, but like sort of on the lakeside near to the islands. Whatever happened to those plans, they must have been scrapped. But now they're sort of bringing these plans back. The design of the hotel itself is quite different to the original plans. Personally, I'm not too sure about the actual design of the hotel building itself. It looks more like an office building rather than theme park accommodation. But these are just concept images. Whether they'll change over time as it's actually fully built, I don't know. But either way, it's good to see that Thorpe Park are investing in actual permanent accommodation after these shark cabins. And I cannot wait to see how this all turns out for them. So that is it for this week's episode of Coast News. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, then please make sure to like and subscribe, and comment what you would like to see in the next video. Goodbye.